please ignore how horrible I sound in the recordings in this video because I'm really ill, so my voice sounds horrible. So anyways, hi, it's Charlie, and today I'm redoing an old tutorial I made because it sucks and it's inaccurate and I think it's really dumb now. So we're going to ignore everything that I did in that video and you're only going to listen to what I say here. The hand is like broken down into 3 shapes. Like, look at this hand here. You break it down into 3 shapes, right? Shape 1 is just the palm of the hand. You can just make a quick square. That's just the palm. Shape 2 is another square. That's going to be like half of the fingers. And shape 3 is going to be the tips of the fingers. And that's like all you have to do to really break it down. I mean, there's the thumb too, but from there it's easy. To break down more complex hands, I would say there's one main line that I would focus on, which is the line at the knuckles. If you draw that line there, you'll be able to like follow through and finish everything else. And then from here you have box 1. You would follow through with all the boxes. And there we go. We almost have a perfect little hand. If fingers are close together, you would clump them together, so that way you could simplify it. And now from here, you can transform it and get to work and make it into a pretty good hand. Now, right now I'm just focusing on the main shape of the hand, not any details. That's for later in the video. But look, now you have a hand. Now this hand, I would say, is very complex and you can still break it down with those easy shapes that we mentioned earlier. First you do your box, and then you do your second box, and then we do our next box, which, because of how they're positioned, I'm going to clump all of these together and move the index finger over there. From here, we could take this, and instead of using the exact drawing I just did, I'm going to make my own. Now I have a pretty decent hand, considering I've never drawn them in this sad pose before. Okay, so you have a simple hand here, but there are some things missing. This hand sucks, but we're going to ignore that. This is just a quick sketch. Now, a typical hand would probably have a little bump here. Why that is? It's because it's part of the bone and it's popping out right here, and that's like a spot that it pokes through the skin. And there's also a little weird triangle bump right here, because that's also a bone just popping out of your skin. And you can see that if you look at the hand skeleton. Now, typically hands have wrinkles in these parts of areas, and in the palm of the hand too. Depending on how skinny the hand is, you can see the bones under it. Especially when the hands are in certain poses. Now when painting people with darker skin tones, yeah, I know this is during sex, but you kind of trace the palm of the hand. And because the palm of their hands are lighter, the same thing applies with their feet. So you would trace like around their palm, and then you would make it lighter. But yes, make sure you do that when you're drawing darker skin characters. Now in the background, I'm going to let a digital painting of me painting hand go. While I go over some tips and tricks for drawing hands that you need, that I still use too. So number 1, use references. I don't care how much you hate it or how much you hate just going onto Pinterest and looking up the type of hands you want. You should do it. You need it. Or if you're too lazy for that, you can just do it yourself. You can take a picture on your phone of your hand in a specific pose. You could do that too if you can't find anything that you need for your drawing. Tip 2, simplify or make it more complicated with how you draw your hands depending on your style. If you draw photorealistic hands on a very cartoony style or very cartoony hands on a photorealistic style, it's going to look kind of odd. So I would look up references for the China style you're going for, whether it's more of an anime or manga-esque style, or a more cartoony style, or a style like mine, which is semi-realism. I would look up references and then kind of stylize it from there. Still using the same technique with the 3 boxes, but from there you would stylize it more. Tip 3. Depending on how cartoony or realistic your style is, I would recommend adding color variation to the skin on the hand drawings. So practically, color variation is like the varying levels of color on your skin. So around the knuckles and around the fingertips, I would say it's more of a red color, so I would do that when drawing hands. And as you can see later on, I add more of a red color and it has a reddish hue, so that's what I do, because I have a more realistic style. But if your style doesn't have much shading, or more specifically not much airbrushing, then I probably wouldn't add that, unless it's all about your own choice when it comes to your style and how it fits and how you see it go. Okay, that did not make sense, but just, add color variation when you can and when it looks best. Anyways, that's the end of my updated hand tutorial. If you followed this tutorial, I would love to see your results. Please tag me in videos or community posts, or post it in my Discord server, which is linked down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.